Hello, I'm Pastor Dave, and this is your sermon recap for Monday, February 14th, 2022. Fair reminder, it is Valentine's Day. Hopefully you prepared. Here we go. This week we tackle Nehemiah chapter 6, verse 15 through chapter 7, verse 3. And in these verses, we have the completion of the walls of Jerusalem, but also opposition once again raising its ugly head. Except this time the opposition is coming from both outside the city and inside the city. Now to start, we have to mention the wall and the gates. This has been a rebuilding project. And miraculously, it's done in 52 days. Now that's here not just to brag, but it's a reminder of whose project it is. Because the rebuilding of the walls was the work of God. That's why it was done so quickly without any of the modern aids we had. I mean, we would be hard-pressed to do it ourselves today. This is something that could only be done because God wanted it done. But at the same time, we see the opposition. And again, we are reminded that opposition takes on many forms. Not only does it take on many forms, but it's done for a variety of reasons. I mean, on the outside, you have Tobiah and the Ammonites, who wanted Jerusalem weak. They were traditional enemies of the Jewish people. They didn't want walls and gates. But then you have the enemy on within, the opposition on the inside, spreading the word about Tobiah and the Ammonites and really playing them up and how great Tobiah was. You also have them telling Tobiah everything Nehemiah is doing so he has the information to be victorious when battle came. Now, this happened for some, probably because of financial gain. Some may have just had selfish interests, but also the traditional issue of intermarrying outside of the Jewish community, which repeatedly in the Old Testament brought up issues. And once again here, it brings up issues. Now, from all of this, we can learn lessons. I mean, to start, like Nehemiah, when facing opposition, we should stay above the games of the opposition. The people who play the games, who gossip, we need to be above it like Nehemiah was and focus on what we can actually control and directly face the opposition. But also, it tells us and reminds us much about God. We're reminded that God remains faithful and fulfills his promises. Just because the wall is done does not mean God abandons Nehemiah, and he is still there to strengthen Nehemiah and guide him to the end. And that's the reminder for us, because we will face opposition, we will face difficulties, and we must remember that God will sustain the community of the faithful to the ultimate end. Regardless of whether we think the work is done or not, God is with us. So that's your recap for today. Reminder that we worship every Sunday at 8:45 at East Salem, 10:15 at Otterbein, and we live stream the East Salem service. But until next Sunday, I'm Pastor Dave, and I hope to see you in the pews.